Folks, you are going to get breaking news. Lance Lambert has a huge announcement, and I personally can't wait to hear because I think it is going to change the game.
So on Monday was my last day at Fortune Magazine after 4 years there. And so now,
Folks, you are going to get breaking news. You are going to hear it here first. Lance Lambert has a huge announcement, and I personally can't wait to hear because I think it is going to change the game. And I think it's going to give all of us access to just more and more housing, housing, housing. Lance, what do you got for us?
hey, Michael. So on Monday was my last day at Fortune Magazine after 4 years there. And so now I am leaving to launch Resi Club. It's going to be it's a hybrid between a news company and a research company. And it's
Okay.
focused on just housing, housing, housing. And really, what I'm trying to do there is I want to take a journalistic lens to residential and give people a look at it in a way that I don't think a lot of media publications are doing, in the way that I think should be done, at least. And so I'm going to be really focused on home builders, the institutional home buyers, figuring out everything that's going on in that space and kind of like just shining a light so people kind of see not only what's happening, but also so people can kind of like see where's the opportunity. Like, who are the big players here? Who should I maybe be reaching out to? And then also really looking at all the prop techs. So any of these startups in the real estate space, like what are they doing? What are they launching? When are they launching? And so I've been going to conferences and talking to different startups. And the reason is if I can do all of those things, I think I can build a place where people who are really interested in housing and investing in it and working in it can like read this and find their own opportunities, right? Um, and then another thing I'm doing is really taking these data skills that I built over the years and trying to bring together as much of this data that's out there and aggregate it so people can see it. There's a tremendous amount of data that's just published right now that's just like sitting there and not getting like any use.
Mm.
So I built data sets and I'm scraping them as soon as they come live to put them in one place so people can have a lot of data. And a lot of the data that I share all the time, this is going to be what Resi Club members get
Yeah, I've
in
seen
raw.
a yeah, I've seen again, I've been following you for well over a year daily. We've had these discussions now, I think almost for a year now. I just want to ask a question because I want people to realize why you've kind of made this leap. One, having the Fortune name behind you probably gave you access very quickly, but it also probably there was a tilt or a slant to what had to be produced, right? So again, the Fortune access, the brand, the Lego, the logo, whatever, gave you access, but it also probably prevented you from sharing kind of everything. Is that fair, or am I
Yeah,
reaching?
so I think a couple of things. Fortune really gave me a tremendous amount of freedom to kind of do the reporting that I wanted to. Just to be honest, like I was kind of a prickly writer. So editors who like wanted to pull me in different ways, like I just didn't take that shit. Probably
Yeah,
since I was like 25. That's just not how I was. I'm like by the facts and
yeah,
I'm searching for it. And I'm a very skeptical person too. And I think if you talk to me, I think you kind of
yeah,
probably get that vibe. I'm always skeptical, always trying to like find out what's going on. And so I think a big thing for me is, I just kind of want to have my own thing
right.
and really make it the focus. And so at Fortune, I was doing a lot of this incredible reporting on housing, but Fortune's a publication that's really focused on the C suite and like
Mm,
people who want to get into the C suite. And so, like, everything that's going on in that space and
yeah,
like the move up that ladder. And that's
yeah.
great. And they do a great job at it.
Oh yeah,
Uh, but,
agreed.
I kind of want to build this thing. And, I see a lot of opportunity there. And also, I, you know, I'm bullish on independent media. I think some of the best work that's going to be done the next 10 years is by people like you and by people like me, and not necessarily some of these bigger brands. It's people who are really passionate about it, people who build audiences. And the thing that you have and that I have isn't a big brand that gives us the authority. And well, maybe I have had that, but it's our trust that we built
Yes,
with people. And you build that every single day. And you
correct.
do that by showing people how you think and opening up to people and showing them also, just where you're getting the information. And you do a great job with this. You bring great guests. It kind of sucks for me because you beat me out on some reporting uh, on what's happened in like you caught the move in Las Vegas and Phoenix before I did coming into this year. And it was a
Yeah.
really abrupt move. But it's things like that. And it's constantly being on your toes, moving with the information,
Yeah.
moving with the story, moving with the data. And so, yeah, I think it's people like me and you who, yeah, we're not going to have, 100 people staffs,
No.
and, these
The
massive
the
brands,
the thing that
but
the thing that I love about you, and I try to emulate, frankly, is you don't let feelings get involved. It's raw data. Now, unlike you, I like to take raw data and kind of project into the future a little bit. You're very much raw data right now, all of that, which I love. Um, but there are so many people, especially around housings, that their game is feelings. I feel it's this way. I feel it's that way. I'm just like, what? When did feelings get involved? I mean, it's I've always appreciated that about you. Is it's like, nope, it's like just here it is. It's fresh, refreshing.
Yeah, and I appreciate that. And one thing I try to do is be accountable. And I think this is going to make me even more accountable because this is just showing all the raw data that I look at. So it's
Yeah,
like, Lance, why do you think this? And it's like, well, here's a spreadsheet. Let's take a look at it. And if you're okay, I'd love to share my screen and share my inventory tracker. And
please.
so how
Yeah,
it's going
yeah,
to
go for it.
work is I'm going to have the free newsletter that's 5 days a week, daily. So it'll be monetized through some advertising. And there will be a lot of reporting in there. There's going to be a lot of charts. If people like my charts, they're going to love it. And then
Mm,
I'm also going to have the premium, which is 3 additional stories a week. It's a lot more like my interviews with executives and like startups in the space, and then the raw access to my data.
mm.
And so I will share that.
So I just
So
want to make sure I heard that right. There's going to be content 5 days a week,
yes,
newsletter, free, and then there will be a paid version, which will give you access to 3 additional stories. That's what I heard.
that's right. Yes,
Ooh,
and
plus
all
all
my
the raw data. Yeah.
rankings, yeah, that type of stuff, and a lot of the
Ooh,
interviews with executives. So one thing I have that's coming for the free audience is it's the in my cuts on like inventory data that just published, right?
okay.
So here's the shifts in the 30 biggest markets. Here's how the numbers have moved nationally. So that'll go to the free audience. And then for the premium audience later this week, I have an interview with Sean Dobson, the CEO of Amherst, and they own 44,000 single family homes.
Yeah.
So I have his thoughts on the housing market and where he kind of sees things.
Very,
So
very
let
cool.
me share my inventory tracker.
Awesome. Let me just say while you're pulling this up, I am so excited for Resi Club. I think the fact that you're going to be focused on folks doing the work, making investment. I mean, you know this because you've been on one rental at a time. There are hundreds of thousands of people looking to make individual decisions. And I think Resi Club is going to give them access that they've really been shut out from. So thank you for taking this leap.
Yeah, and so I used to work at Realtor.com, and Realtor.com has a great public resource for inventory data on a monthly basis across the country. And the data is all here, but one of the issues is the way the data comes, it's not formatted well for like somebody who um, doesn't play with data all the time. It pretty much, and I could share the code if anybody actually wants to see what you had to do to the inventory data to get it clean. You have to do a reshape on the data, and then you can get it into a readable form.
Oh my goodness.
Um,
Yeah, I'm not doing that. I'm glad you're doing that.
so it doesn't take a lot of work, but it's a little manual. So that's why this kind of falls into the premium category. So here's the inventory tracker, and what I do here is I have active listings, which you know how key this metric is.
Hmm.
New listings, again, super important, and then days on market. And so I have this
Ooh, I
for,
love these. These are the three important things: active, new, and days on market. Because it is my belief that days on market are going to move statistically more relevant than the other two, but we shall see.
so I keep it here on the 250 largest. I don't cut all the smaller ones here because the smaller you get on a market,
Yeah.
on the percentage change, you can get some
Yes.
weird things. I don't trust it
Agreed.
as much. So
Agreed.
what I have here is active listings, 1 year change, 2 year change, 3 year change, 4 year change. 4 year change is actually the most important column here
Hmm.
for active listings because it compares from pre-pandemic to now. And
Oh,
so
okay.
if you take the 250 largest markets, only 15 are back to pre-pandemic levels. So
Wow.
these are the markets that have softened more. Austin, of course. I think San Antonio is close. Colorado Springs is definitely one. You'll see a few of the Idahos are kind of like right here on the border.
Hmm.
Really, these markets right here, up until about the 15, right around here, maybe about 20. These have kind of softened more, and then these ones considerably more so.
Makes
But
sense.
as you can see, almost the whole country is at least 20, 25, 40% down from pre pandemic levels. And I
Wow.
mean, look at these places. That
Yeah.
means for every 4 homes that used to be on the market pre pandemic, there's only
Mhm.
one now in these
Yeah.
markets
I,
right.
I don't know that you've heard this, Lance, but the Fed broke housing.
Yeah, we
I-
called it early, and this data set shows it. And then you move over to new listings, same thing, 1 year change, 2 year change, 3 year, 4 year. As you can see, the rate shock coincided with a big pullback in listings. There's just not as much market churn. Something you call the move up buyer is gone.
Move up buyer's
Um,
dead. Yep.
so this whole every one here is actually sorted on the 4 year change because I think this is
Okay.
the most important column.
Okay.
And then if you go up here, you get the US national numbers. So active listings down 4
Wow.
year, 4 year change from pre pandemic, 43%. New listings, all of those. And then days on market, as you can see from the very bottom, from the point when COVID was, or the pandemic housing boom was at its like fiercest point, we're
Mhm.
up 20% on days on market from there, which actually
Wow.
isn't that much. And
No.
then 1 year change up 2%. And then still, we're not back to pre pandemic levels, still down 23% on days on market. And so let's say you want to see your full market for the raw data. You go over to active listings, and I actually have all of the realtor.com active listing data here. So even the small places, although I would take them, I'd be a little more careful if you go too far down. But it's every month back to July 2016, which is how far back the realtor.com inventory goes.
That's amazing.
And this one is sorted by household size. So New York being at the top.
What do you mean
Um,
household size? What is that? What does household size mean?
sorry, I mean I mean metro size, the
Oh,
housing
the
market,
size. Okay,
the
got it.
size of the market.
That makes a
Yeah.
lot more sense. That makes more sense. Okay.
Yes, I misspoke. New listings, same thing, all the raw data. Days on market, same thing, all the raw data. I will say this is
Ooh, let me look at this.
real.com
Days on
methodology
market.
on days on market.
Hmm.
So these are actually higher than like the NAR numbers. So I think they kind of, I don't exactly, I'll have to take a look to kind of see why the NAR and realtor.com are different. But the main thing is always compare it apples to apples within that universe.
Of
So if you're
course.
working with realtor.com, the number here doesn't matter that much for days on market. The most important thing is percent change. That's the
Yeah,
trajectory.
you're pretty good with Excel and charts, right? Can I throw a challenge at you for a second? If
Yes.
you can do it,
What
great.
was
If you can't, don't. I would love to see Los Angeles County days on market, just a line graph,
I
and
could get
using
it, but here I have the metro. I don't have the
that's
counties
fine.
in here.
The metro's fine. That I would just love to see that
And you would like
be-
to see it for which metric?
for days on market. For
Okay.
the last 5 years, if you have it by month, it'd be great because I think it's going to tell me something, but I could be wrong. because I think we're going to see a noticeable shift start to happen in the last couple of months. But let's see. Look at you. You are good. You've done this a few times.
I have, yeah.
Yeah, and just a line graph, use the dates as
There we
yeah,
go.
there we go. All right. Yeah, so if I were looking at this, and this is what I think days on market is the variable that will change most meaningfully. It won't be active listings, it won't be new listings. Those will stay disappointing, but I think days on market's going to really jump the next 4 to 6 months. So it's the edge of that.
Yeah, I think there's a lag with the data because it takes the
Sure.
home to go further into the process. Yeah, so this, I think you're right. It's going to be moving up that seasonality, but I
Mhm.
think it's definitely going to beat out like the 2021. It'll be
Yeah.
higher up here.
Okay.
And you could see last year it really moved up fast.
Yeah, I did.
Um, and you know what's really interesting right here? Remember that point last summer where rates
Mhm.
went up to 6 and then they kind of came back down for a bit?
I do remember the 599
And
day. I remember.
yes. No, before that,
Oh,
into 2022. So
oh,
that
20. Okay, yeah, yeah, yeah.
August rates at one point actually didn't just go to 599, they went to 499
Oh,
in
49.
August.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah.
499.
And
Yeah.
then from August 2022 to October 2022, they went from 499 to 737, like on a
Mm,
bullet train up. And that's
yeah.
really when people got the most scared because how fast rates jumped up. I mean, it would be like the past few weeks if
Mhm.
we would have just kept going to 8.5,
Yep.
9%
Yeah. It's
situation.
this
And,
is
and
why I think Resi Club is going to be so valuable for the individuals. Is you're going to have all the data sets. They're going to be able to take what I call their buy box or their location, dive in, they're going to get historical data that they just don't have. And I think
yeah,
anybody who has a buy box needs stuff like this.
and that thing that you just had me do, which is take the market and then make a chart, that's exactly what Resi Club members can do with the data. Copy it out into your own
Exactly.
spreadsheet, make your charts, and as soon as the Realtor.com data drops at the beginning of the month, which has the previous month's data,
Mhm.
you'll have the data from me. And then I also keep a tab for the national data for active listings, new listings, median.
Oh,
I'll
excellent.
put more metrics in here over time, but I didn't want to put too much that I couldn't like do some fact checks on some stuff before I put it
Yeah.
in. Over here, you'll get a breakdown of what is each of these metrics. So,
Mhm.
like active listings from Realtor.com excludes pending listings,
Mhm. Yep.
for
You'll define
example.
it. Yep.
You'll get a comment from me if I'm worried about a market. I'm still worried about Las Vegas.
Mm,
Realtor.com confirmed to me they had a data reporting issue.
mm,
And it looks like inventory there just dropped from like 8,000 in their data to 5,000. So
mm.
I suspect they like overcorrected and there's still some type of data issue.
Okay.
So I try to keep it clean. And I'm going to also have this for pricing data, and I'll have
Mhm.
a few different trackers that I'll
That's
publish.
amazing. So somebody's watching this. They know, respect you. You've been on this channel a year. Where do we send them so they can sign up for the free newsletter? Is it just resiclub.com or what are we doing?
Yeah. Am I still sharing?
You are.
Let me. So it's resiclubanalytics.com. You go here. Um, if you enter in your email, oh, that's not good. Let's see if I have that issue in incognito. Thing.
This is all coming up in real time.
Yes. Oh, that's not good. So you should be able to enter in your email
Mhm.
address and sign up. If you have any issues, reach out to me. You can reach me at my email, and I'll pull it up here real quick. It's lanceclambert@gmail.com, or message me on Twitter. Still kind of working through some of the kinks. It could be just because my email is already in the system
Yeah,
that it's
that's what I'm
floating in
thinking.
there. And then
Yeah.
the first post here is just kind of introducing the company. And again, Resi Club, the newsletter, if you type in your email there, it is there. There's a free version.
Mhm.
One second.
No problem.
Let me stop sharing for a second. So if you put in your email there at resiclubanalytics.com, you'll get the free newsletter every day, again, monetized through advertising. And then the premium version, which is called Resi Club Pro, it's $150 a year. You get the 3 additional articles every week,
Wow.
and then plus access to my tracker data.
Folks, you're going to want that. If you have a buy box, you have a market, you're serious about it, $150 a year. You said a year?
Yes, a year.
Resi, is it resiclubanalytics.com and you go to a pro section, or is that how it
Yeah.
works?
So if you put in your email, then it takes you to another page where it shows
Okay.
the
The two
yeah.
options. Yeah,
And
you're going to want
and
that data set.
and one thing I'm going to do with the data is I'm very open to readers' feedback. So
Yeah.
if there's public data out there or data that I can create that you think would be valuable, reach out and let me know, and I'll look into it
Mm.
and see if I can add it.
Folks, I love the one rental at a time community. Look through it, see what he's doing at resiclubanalytics.com. He's going to keep coming back each week. We're going to get the best of the best from Mr. Lance Lambert. I'm so excited for what you're going to do for the average investor, the average home buyer. I know being a part of Fortune and doing the C-suite stuff's got to be a lot of fun, but I think you're going to have a bigger impact now. And I look forward to seeing what's happening, man. Thanks again.
I appreciate that, Michael. Thank you.
You got it. Take care. We'll talk next week.
Yep.